Hi, I'm Sam, welcome to my channel, and today I want to talk to you about some of the downsides to actually joining the army, especially if you're thinking about joining it in 2022. So here goes. First one is definitely the pay. When you start off, if you're slightly older and perhaps you've already got a mortgage, you are going to start on a really low amount of pay compared to what you might be making already. And if you have a mortgage or other types of commitments, loans, etc., which everyone has, or credit cards which comes with fees as well if you don't pay, the pay isn't that good, and you will have to plan probably months and months out to actually be able to manage that pay cut in order to then get more pay, as you will do as you move on through your career. But certainly your first 6 months you're not going to make a lot of money. I do have a video about how much money soldiers make within basic training, initial basic training, when they start off. So if you're a bit older, you are really going to have to plan for it. If you're a bit younger, you could essentially just get out of school and go straight in. So it's not too bad if you're younger, but if you're older, it is going to be a little more difficult. My next point is going to be time away from family. I've spent loads and loads and loads of time away from my family. However, they have been in military quarters, so that isn't too bad, and I'll come on to that later about how bad they are. But at this moment in time, if you like spending time with your family and friends in your hometown, you're probably going to have to draw a line under that. You're not going to be able to see them every single weekend, and in fact you might not see them for months on end. But I think especially if you go on tour, and then you might be doing a lot of exercises, and if you do have a young family and you're just joining up, that's going to be difficult for you as well. So time away from family can really be tough, especially if you're missing your mates' birthdays. You might be missing people's weddings, anything like that. Your lad's going away on holiday, you're going to have to miss that. If you're working, you might not be able to get time off. So that's certainly something you need to think about. And as I just said, now we're going to move on to military housing. So I bought some houses to rent out in Cardiff, so I wasn't living there, but I was living elsewhere, and I moved my family into married quarters, and some of them are terrible, really bad. Like in my one now, not here because I'm in Texas, I'm filming from Texas, but back in Blandford where I'm from, the shower doesn't work, it leaks half the time, and they stink, some of them. The previous occupants don't clean them before they go, and if they do pay people to clean them, they just don't do a very good job. When you do your march-in, as it's called, when you move into your house, march-in standards are very low. And also I've seen and heard firsthand absolute horror stories about people moving into their married quarters and it's already got squatters in because it's not actually on the camp itself. So housing can be bad. It can be very good for some, but it can also be pretty bad as well. So that's just an awareness I'd like to give you. Next, we're going to move into schooling. So when you have a family and you have children, chances are you're going to move every 2 to 3 years, or if you're lucky you might be able to extend it to 4 or 5 if you're lucky, but chances are you're going to move every 2 to 3 years. Therefore it's an upheaval for your children, and they're also going to have to move schools every 2 to 3 years as well. And that also coincides with your spouse getting a job. You might be in one area, they might have a really good job that they love, and then you have to move your family to a completely different location. You might be going from Wales all the way up to Scotland, so your spouse is gonna have to leave her friends, your children are gonna have to leave their friends in school as well, and they're then gonna have to go and build a whole new job for your wife and school friends for your children. So that is one certain downside, is schools and jobs for spouses and children. Another thing is if your heart is not in it. If your heart's not in it, you're probably not going to last that long. You might get through basic training, You might get through basic training where you're constantly at it, but then when you get onto phase 2 training and there's a little bit of hanging around and your heart's not in it and it's not really the career that you first decided on and you're just doing it to see if you can join the army, you're gonna struggle. You are going to struggle, and you then might not have the fondest feelings of the army, which I know a lot of people have. I'm lucky. I've really enjoyed my time. Some people do not have very fond feelings of the army at all. So if your heart's not in it, I would probably go for something that you want to do, and if that doesn't work out, then give the army a go, rather than thinking the army is the easy way out. Number 6 is injuries. A lot of people get a lot of injuries within the military, especially lower back and leg injuries as well. And if you're prone to them already, then chances are you're gonna get it in when you're doing physical fitness in the military. So what I would say is get physically and mentally fit for it, because obviously you've got PTSD style injuries as well, and in the past that the army have not been good with dealing with mental illness, and they are getting better. They are getting much better now, and I've seen that, how they're getting better. However, injuries as well, to be honest with you, I don't think the army's great with dealing with injuries at all. They're trying to put in preventative measures, and everywhere has physio departments, so on and so forth, but I don't think the army is where it should be when it comes with dealing with minor injuries. If you get big injuries, then you go to specialist places. They're really good. If you get minor injuries, then I don't think the army is that good for dealing with minor injuries. So that's also something to think about. If you are injury prone, think about how you're going to possibly deal with that yourself. I just go and see private physios and private chiropractors. That's my advice. But if you haven't got the money to do that originally, then you will go and see army physios. But I don't think it's that good. And my last point is taking direction. If you struggle taking direction from people, then you are going to struggle in the army. Basic training, you'll probably be fine. But as you move through your career, what you will find is people giving you direction won't be as experienced or as intelligent as you. And it's very difficult taking direction from those people. And a lot of people don't like it. And some people even sign off because of it. So you've got to get your head straight and just think, yeah, they're giving me direction. I'll follow it if I think it's correct. But some people, they don't like that whatsoever. They find it difficult with dealing with chain of command and hierarchy, and therefore they'll get out the army. And if you're like that, if you think you know best, the army is not for you at all. You've got to be the type of person to think, do you know what, maybe I don't know best, maybe they know more than me. But if they don't know more than me, sometimes it's worth just taking it on the chin and think, yeah, I'll do it your way, I'll prove to you you're wrong, and then we'll do it my way. But taking direction is certainly a big one when it comes to joining the military. So that's just like 7 points really on the downside. I don't want to make this video too long because there are some unbelievable good sides to it as well. But what I wanted to do was just talk to you through the bad side, just give you something to think about before you go ahead and join the military in 2022 or beyond. If you do have any questions, please just ask and I will get back to them. Other than that, take care. Bye.